Hey Pokemon Masters, Birdkeepertoby here, and the new starter Pokemon for Pokemon Sun and Moon should be announced any day now. It should literally be right around the corner. But you know what that means? It means we're not going to get any more starter Pokemon leaks. And by leaks, I mean fakes, because all over the internet people are posting what they think the Pokemon Sun and Moon starters are going to look like, or trying to convince people that their pictures are the real ones. This happens with the announcement of every single generation, but we've had some really great ones this year, so I thought we'd look back at some of the best and some of the worst. The top 5 best and top 5 worst Pokemon starter fakes. So, of course, remember this is all my opinion. Make sure you subscribe on youtube.com/Birdkeepertoby for future Pokemon Sun and Moon videos. And with that said, let's get on to number 10. Number 10. This one is one of the, that could have been better ones. Number 10 is the first of the worst, and it's these two fire and water starters that were shown just a few months ago. These guys were almost immediately panned for being fake, and aside from the fact that there's no grass starter with them, along with that the only connection they even had to Pokemon Sun and Moon was the logos. Other than that, these could have been images of pretty much anything. As designs go, they're quite inventive, but I'm not a fan, and again, that's just my personal opinion. You might really like them. What I find so ridiculous is the backstory behind them. They were posted to 4chan to begin with, which is not the best place to get Pokemon starter leaks. And apparently they were photos taken by a journalist in the Game Freak offices. Yeah, because that seems likely. Number 9. Okay, so number 9 is one I like. It's actually one that I love. I think this would be an awesome grass starter Pokemon. And that is the Grass Lemur, which I actually can't find a source for, but it didn't come alone. It came with some leaks for legendary Pokemon and a weird Aegis / meets the unknown and a rainbow kind of Pokemon. I don't know, I actually thought all the designs were cool, but the grass Pokemon in particular, this Grass Lemur, wow, it's awesome. There actually hasn't been a Pokemon based off of a lemur yet, so it's a cool concept straight from the off. But not only that, it just looks adorable. If this was a real Pokemon, and I'm sad that it's not, I would so love to have it on my team. What a cute little guy. Number 8. So, back to the not so hot end of the list, we have this Grass Owl and Fire and Water thing. So for some reason these fakes have been blowing up recently, and I don't really understand why. The Grass Owl is kind of okay, and it makes sense as well because of a recent leak to do with the starter Pokemon name. It suggests that the grass starter might be based off of an owl, if that leak is true. So I guess that's why it's been getting traction, but the other two make no sense. I look at them and I have no idea. What are they? What are these? Somebody tell me what they are. One of the big things about starter Pokemon is having them recognizable. Froakie is a frog, Totodile is a crocodile, Charmander is a lizard. The general gist of them is that they have to be at least somewhat recognizable. These guys, I got no clue. And that's why sadly they were probably never gonna be believed. Number 7. See, now personally, I prefer this Grass Owl. In fact, I like the artwork of all of these 3 starters. Again, they were posted on 4chan, so 9 out of 10 times it's gonna be fake. But the artwork is actually relatively convincing. I'd definitely like to know which of these 3 you'd pick on your team. I'm not even really sure what the fire one is. A dog, maybe? Of course, this owl design is much better than the last one, and the next one. Number 6. Sorry to say, this is another standalone one, and it's a Grass Owl. Yeah, you've seen that concept 3 times this video. The reason this is on my not so great list is despite the fact it's Ken Sugimori art style, there's something, if I look close, oh yeah, it's a Maractus. Like, they just share too many design elements. It almost makes me feel like it's a cactus owl, which doesn't make any sense. Sadly, this Pokemon doesn't quite make it onto the believability scale because it looks like aspects of it have been stolen from other Pokemon like Maractus and Cacnea, which is just a really odd concept for a bird. I mean, I'm down with it if Game Freak does it, just not in this way. Sorry, Grass Owl. Number 5. Okay, another bird one, but not an owl, and this is on my good list. See, this one actually got a lot of traction on YouTube because it came out so soon after the announcement of the games themselves. This was sort of the first one. Everyone was excited about this blue bird. Is it real? Isn't it? People were 50-50 about it. Heck, I'm still kind of 50-50 about it. I mean, maybe not 50-50, maybe like 70-30 that it's not real, but I actually kind of really like it and I would love it to be real. The leak was made more believable by the Hawaiian flower that came attached to it and the theory that the new region is based off Hawaii. The problem sadly comes is that we already have Piplup, which kind of looks like it in a similar water bird kind of way. But generally speaking, that's the only factor really pointing to the possibility of it not being real. Still, I think at this point it's been generally accepted this is a fake, but I love it. Number 4. Okay, so number 4 are a mixed bunch between best and worst, but I'm making them one of my worst ones because 2 out of 3 of them are kinda eh. A fire cat, a seal, and a grass peacock. Guess which one I like? 3, 2, 1, it's a grass peacock. And I hope you picked the same because I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of the other 2. The seal just looks a little bit plain and generic, but the fire cat is what sets it off for me. See, starter Pokemon are supposed to be accessible to everyone, so cute and cool is the general rule of thumb. The cat doesn't really have the cute factor, kinda putting me off it. It kind of makes me think that it's like a ghost fire type, and it's the kind of Pokemon you'd encounter later on in the game to optionally have on your team. So yes, if given the option personally, I'd choose the grass peacock. I actually think it looks really cool. There's a lot of cool bird Pokemon coming around this time. But the other 2, sorry, definitely fake. Number 3. Okay, so what you clicked the thumbnail for, this awesome grass bird thing, and it's not alone. It has a fire and water starter to accompany it. And they have evolutions. And they're proper like Kensugamori style artwork. They look incredible. So who made these? Well, it was a deviant artist, a Pokemon fan known as Pokeluka. And this guy is pretty awesome. His artwork is absolutely phenomenal, but he wasn't making Sun and Moon starters. He was making starters for his own region of Fakemon, which all look fantastic. You should check him out, and all the links to everything are in the description. Along with a whole bunch of Mega Evolutions you've likely seen in thumbnails here and there. But the reason it surfaced as Sun and Moon starters is that people were using his Pokemon like me in the thumbnails, and people just assumed that, oh, they're the Sun and Moon Link starters. In fact, they're just cool bits of fan artwork. Dude, keep it up. Number 2. Okay, so number 2 is on the bad side of the list, but it's not actually really that bad. It's only bad because I like 1 out of the 3 Pokemon, but really the artwork itself is fantastic. Oh, and actually I've just looked it up. It turns out he also made number 7 on this list. A fantastic deviant artist. I just personally don't like these starters. I love the snail, but I'm just not sure what the fire and grass ones are kind of meant to be. That said, they do look adorable, so I would definitely have any of them on my team. I'm just not sure about as starters. Oh, and also, just like the last guy, check this out. He also makes fake Mega Evolutions, like this Mega Jinx, which I'm sure you've seen in thumbnails. Again, a very well-respected guy. Seriously, dude, good work. Number 1. But here we go, this year's number 1 best and worst at the same time starter fake leaks. And that is the Grosgo, the Water Crocodile, and the Fire Bear. Okay, let's start off with the cool points, like Fire Bear as number 1. I want this to be a Pokemon, I want this to be a Pokemon, I want this to be a Pokemon so bad. But also the genius behind this leak is that they announced it just before a coro was supposed to come out. So people genuinely believed that this was the coro scans. It was very well crafted, the whole scan they put a lot of time into it. So how do we know it's fake? Well, sadly there were a few issues. One is that the Water Crocodile looked too much like a combination of Trico and Totodile, and the Grosgo, we already have Go-Go. There were a few issues with the text, but the main problem for me is that it was also leaked with some box arts of some Pokemon Sun and Moon legendaries that look cool, but they were silhouettes. And when you're Game Freak marketing your new game, you don't market silhouettes, you market the creature that you're trying to market. So sadly, it didn't fully convince people. Still though, I think it was awesome and incredibly well done. And if I had to personally choose from this video, my 3 favorite starter leaks overall are the Fire Bear, the Water Bird, and the Grass Raptor thing. I think the 3 of those would make for an awesome starter set. I want to pick them all. Be sure to let me know your favorite fake ones in the comments and stay subscribed for future Pokemon Sun and Moon videos. So hi.
This is Ash Ketchum. You just watched a video by Birdkeepertoby. That makes you a Pokemon Master.